A pretty snappy, straight to the point pop rap, trap rap project that I thought I'd do a pretty snappy, straight to the point review for. We have the Christmas tree in the background. It's all seasonal here. It's all holiday, festive type stuff. We have a a very apt 40 age to perfection mug. I've been lying about my age once again. And we have a project here that's been getting a pretty negative response. I'm kind of confused. I think this is kind of funny. This is pretty fun. Come on, guys. Just take off your music critic hats for just a minute and put this on and you'll have a bit of a blast. The Jackboys ensemble consists of Travis Scott, Jackboys has been dug out from wherever he disappeared off to last year, and Don Toliver and a few other guys too. Don Toliver, I heard the 2018 mixtape not too long ago actually. Didn't think much of it, but on this project, I think he's by far the best bit about it, and he's only on a few songs. I think he brings a bit of life to some of the tracks that he's on. I think the track featuring Young Thug is desperate for that. Young Thug, I think, is one of the worst parts about his project. I think he's kind of just coasting by doing his usual thing, and it sounds really poor because of his lyrics. I just think his lyrics are really gross, and usually he sells it just by sounding goofy and funny, and he's not usually as on the nose as he is with some of these lines on this track. And I just think it completely interrupts the flow. And there's only 7 tracks on here, and I just think, well, once you hit that track, I'm just kind of confused. You know, I'm not exactly a David Rowe when it comes to Young Thug. Of course, he knows the ins and outs to every Thugger project, every Thugger EP, every Thugger album, whatever feature. You know, he's a huge fan, but I'm a pretty big fan too, I must say. Like, I do like Bar 6 a lot. I like Jeffrey a lot. I like the Slime season stuff a lot. You know, I'm a fan of the guy, but you know, I just put cum in her pussy, now it's wet, and then he's talking about how she's like drinking the spit off of him, and it's just like, this is just way too much. Then you got Don Toliver, who's just like killing it on these tracks, and he's a fairly unknown name. It just sounds like Thugger's just out of his element a bit here. I just feel like he wasn't entirely sure what to do or say, so he just rushed out some random stuff, put it together, and just was like, yeah, that's fine. The Highest in the Room remix with Rosalia, like I mentioned her name already, I think she kills it on her feature. I think it improves this track actually. I thought the track was pretty decent at first, but now I'm completely sold on it, having heard her feature here. And it's weird because I've seen people say that she's awful, and like people are wondering who's this Spanish chick on this song, and it's like, no man, she sounds perfect here. It's like the track needed something this whole time, and then she just kind of came through and filled that gap and made the track quite a lot better than I think it already was. And like I say, I thought it was pretty decent to begin with. The beat on Gatty is some really like classic southern rap type banging stuff. Just reminds me of stuff like Gucci Mane would be rapping over, and the Pop Smoke feature I think is pretty solid. Sounds pretty typical for the style, obviously, but I think, you know, it's a good track for what it is. I think Travis has always worn his influences on his sleeve quite dearly, and this is one of those examples for that. And it's funny because during this review I haven't even mentioned Travis that much, and he is one of the main parts of this thing, but I do think quite often he does get overshadowed by some of the features, some of the guests, you know, some of the own members of this Jackboys project, you know, Don Toliver, as I've mentioned. But, you know, he actually does come through with some pretty solid verses. It just kind of sounds like he's just doing his own thing that he's been doing before. You've probably heard it better elsewhere, but for what it is, I think it works. Nothing really too much to be thinking about here. You just kind of put it on and it's a bit of fun. I think a 6 out of 10 seems reasonable. I just wanted to review this because I just thought the negative response was kind of weird. I don't really see what's so poor about this, but you know, to me it was just pretty alright. I'm pretty sure in like 3 or 4 months I won't be listening to this or thinking about this, but I think for what it is, stick it on, bit of fun. It's really short, straight to the point. I think yeah, it's alright. Thanks for watching my review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you have a good day. More videos on the way in the next whenever I get time to record. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye. It's in the room.